So here we are, session 1 with Alex, doing some of his batting. Just hitting off tees to start with. So he's got nice square feet to begin with. Taps the ball nicely. Taps the bat nicely. First strike, that was a good strike. So something to consider is obviously him picking up the bat, taking it back a little bit further, and then stepping into the ball and getting over the ball a little bit more. So we just need to check his toes. But he does make good contact, so he kind of a little bit bottom hand, but that's something we kind of develop as the session's going on. Okay, so here we are, video number 2. So we just progressed it on to drop feeds now. So obviously the ball's moving, and already we can start to see he's got a more defined back lift. He's taking that back swing back further, which means he's going to generate lots more power. Now he's got a nice tap, feet are nicely aligned. Now he does have the tendency, if you just watch, we're going to slow one of the kind of hits down in a minute. He's got a tendency for his bat to be picked up behind him. Now as a result of that, he's got to play around his front pad, which is going to result in him hitting the ball to the leg side. There was a better attempt, so he took his bat back nice and straight then, that was good. That was a really nice shot. Okay, so we'll go back and have a little look at his hands there. So tap, tap, tap. His bat's gone back nice and straight, so it just tends to come around slightly there towards kind of fine leg position behind his wicket. In an ideal world, his bat will be pointing back towards middle and off stump. That allow his bat to come through. But it was a good shot, and he transferred his weight nicely into the hit. Okay, so that's good. So it's just something to consider. And obviously he's looked to develop, but he does hit the ball nicely. That was a good shot. Finished with his hands pointing in the direction he wanted to go. Just needs to open his toes out towards the hit a little bit. That will help him transfer his weight. But again, consistent hit of the ball. Nice taps, picking the ball up, the bat up much further behind him, which is good. Enabling that power. Just got to think the line of the pickup just goes around him or behind him a fraction too much. Okay, so here we are, video 3. So we're just getting him to step onto a pad and just practice opening out his toes towards the shots. So he does a couple of steps. So there he goes, steps in, open his toes out, lets his hands go through again, and then on the third hit, we're just having him hit. So massive improvement there. So with his toes pointing towards where he wants the ball going. His bat's being picked up nice and straight, which is really good. A little bit further behind him there at times. We've still got to work at taking his hands back straighter, but he's practicing getting those toes open. Okay, and as a result, he's more balanced when he's taking the shot. Okay, so that's really good. Very happy with that. Okay, so here we are, video 3. So we're just getting him to step onto a pad and just practice opening out his toes towards the shots. So he does a couple of steps. So there he goes, steps in, open his toes out, lets his hands go through again, and then on the third hit, we're just having him hit. So massive improvement there. So with his toes pointing towards where he wants the ball going. His bat's being picked up nice and straight, which is really good. It's a little bit further behind him there at times. We've still got to work at taking his hands back straighter, but he's practicing getting those toes open. Okay, and as a result, he's more balanced when he's taking the shot. Okay, so that's really good. Very happy with that. Okay, so we've got video number 4, batting. So we're now actually feeding the ball towards him now. So he's tapping the bat nicely there. His hands gone back nice and straight. Good contact. Still needs to think about those toes, but the most important thing is he's making good contact with the ball. So he tendency for his bat to finish pointing towards the leg side. Okay, so can he finish with his bat pointing? That was a better effort. That was a good attempt. Just need to check those toes. It's going to go back a little bit for that shot. So he stepped into the ball. Okay, not too bad actually, that was pretty good. So his toes were going where we wanted the ball going. Again, still that backswing tending to go behind him, which means he's going to close the bat face on the ball, which is giving himself less chance to hit it. That was a nice shot. Got across well to the ball. Nice shot through the offside. So still needs to think about pushing those hands back. So just gone behind him again, which then makes it difficult for him to hit around his front leg. so he can't really get access to the ball. There we go, lovely straight shot, got his front foot out of the way, hands went back, and he's got the end result as a big shot. Okay, so that was really good. Okay, so here's bowling session 1. Okay, so he's a left arm bowler, obviously he's coming left arm over the wicket. And initially, it's quite hard when you run in with an approach. Okay, he still needs to focus on the basics of getting his arm action right. So he's probably not there yet with the approach. Okay, so we just need to go back to kind of bowling from a base position and looking at the crossover position. That's what we do later on in the session. So there you go, he does it himself and he's from standing. Okay, so his arm action's fine. It's just developing and being more consistent with that part of his action. Once we get that consistency, we can then look to add in more movement into the action, which means we can generate more power. So we start to do that in the next session. Okay, so that was a nice delivery. Okay, so his arm action isn't a problem, we just need to develop that, make that more consistent, and then we can show him how to jump and do his crossover into the action. Okay, so here we are, bowling part 2. Okay, so we've got him standing there with his back foot contact. We've got him there with his arms and hands starting together, and we've got a nice circle coming over the top, so a nice consistent circle. So that's really good. So it's just something we need to consider. So he starts with his hands together out in front of him, and he makes a full circle over the top. Nice smooth circle like so. Now he tends to fall away a little bit. Okay, so we just need to try and get his head going towards the target a fraction more. But that was really, really good. So just his arms are not an issue. Okay, we just need to make that, again, like I said earlier, consistent in terms of the arms working together. And then once we get that consistency, we can then look to add in the jump into the action, which will again make it a lot easier. Okay, so bowling part 3. So again, still from that standing position, arms together. Okay, just tended with his front arm to go towards the leg side, and as a result the ball went there. So our front arm is really important when we're bowling as our aimer. So again, he's starting nicely together. Again, we just fell away ever so slightly. Okay, but that's fine, his arms look good. So he just needs to think one circle, one speed. There we go. Okay, that was really good. Again, just tended to fall off the fraction. So can he stay nice and tall, push his head towards the target. There we go, consistent line again. So that's good. And again. So there we go. So we just need to, just carry on tightening that up. So nice circle, I'm telling there at the top. So it just fell away, front arm went away. That's going to happen. Okay, it's quite a tricky thing to do bowling, but I'm sure with some more practice we'll get him up to scratch, no worries at all.